Hi friends, you ever have a piece of music change your life? I have, and it was this great piece by Wayne Shorter called Iris. I thought I'd share a little bit about why, in hopes that it could help you. I've heard this tune first when I was probably in my late teens, just struggling to understand this language, and this tune from the Miles Davis record called ESP, the classic quintet with, of course, Miles on trumpet, Wayne on tenor, Herbie Hancock playing piano, Ron Carter on bass, and Tony Williams on drums. Fabulous group, and they really pushed the boundaries of the music of the time and played a lot of Wayne Shorter's compositions. And there's two things that really struck me about this one. Number one being just the soulful melody. Wayne is a master of these beautiful melodies. Number two, more directly in line with what I want to talk about today, is the harmony. Again, Wayne being a master of non-functional harmony. So we typically learn that chords are built on scales and by stacking up thirds, and we think of things like, the root, the third, the fifth, and the seventh being the defining qualities of that chord, and then potentially you add some tensions, the ninths, the 11s, and 13s, usually in the upper voices, is like the traditional way of approaching things. But what this tune changed for me was looking at the instrument and music and life through a completely different lens. And what I mean by that specifically to this harmony is this non-functional harmony and that particular group being, rather than thinking of chords being stacked in thirds, what I heard and what became apparent to me was this idea of using the complete chord scale as all equal valid notes to add in your harmonies. You don't have to play the root, you don't have to play the third, you don't have to play the fifth or the seventh. You can play any of the notes in any combination of different interval structures to get the sound of that chord scale. And I created a video about this, which I'll link, I guess, over here. I'll link here in case you want to check that out. But the main point being that rather than playing in these patterns, these what I call grips that we learn, you learn where the root is. Oh, it's the first chord of the tune is F minor. Oh, I found an F on my low string, and then I plug in this shape that somebody told me was an F minor 7 chord, and then I go to the next string and I find my F, and this is how we learn from the early stages, right? And that's all well and good up to a point. And then having this ability to just see the fingerboard open up with all these interval structures. So F minor, I'm going to play like an F Dorian sound, but I'm going to play, I'm not thinking of chords. I'm thinking of a chord scale called F Dorian, but I'm just going to play these intervals, these note combinations from that chord scale, and I'm not thinking about shapes. I'm just thinking about that chord scale, and you get much more interesting colors. So that's what really changed for me, in more of a parallel in the everyday life aspect. What it really taught me was to not hold concepts too rigid, right? To be loose in your thinking, to be able to see other approaches or look through another lens to see what might be there and investigate a bit, and you might find a whole world open up. And that's what happened to me with this particular tune. So hope that maybe that might happen for you too if you care to dig into any of Wayne's music or this one in particular. If you do happen to like this tune, I have added it to a new playlist I created called Chord Melodies, and I have a downloadable PDF with both standard notation and tab if you care to check it out, linked in the description. Hope you enjoy.